We welcome you into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on a Thursday, a fairly snowy Thursday. Dear Goon, we are not at Quaker Steak and Lube. I can't help but notice.
Yeah, the smell's a little bit different right now, and I got no wing sauce on my beard.
Yeah, this is very disappointing for everybody involved. Our thanks, of course, to Quaker Steak and Lube for sticking with us. We certainly urge you to stick with them. Get gift certificates, or obviously you can get the takeout food still available. Lion Country Kia also doing a terrific job. Blaze Alexander continuing to do a great job. I actually drove by their lot. They have everything cleaned out pretty well there as far as the snow removal is concerned. And of course, our thanks to Face John at facejohn.com as well. On a Thursday after we got more snow than we've had, I can't remember the last time, Goon, we've had more than a foot of snow in one shot. It's been quite a while, many years anyway.
Yeah, I do not recall. I moved back to State College in 2015 and 2005, and I do remember late December when the team had left to go down to the Orange Bowl. We got blasted by a big snowstorm then, but I wasn't in town for it, so I call anything over a 12. I mean, I'm at 15 or 16 inches outside of our house, but I don't recall the last time we'd had anything like this.
Well, I'm a guy, Goon, so we measure that as about 24, 25 inches.
Exactly. Yes. Very true.
Yeah, it's a lot of snow, whatever it ended up being. It was funny. We were trying to keep ahead of it a little bit with our driveway and sidewalk, and I took the dog out at 1 a.m. For his little break, and I'm like, well, I can never get back to sleep right away anyway, so as long as I'm out here, might as well. So about an hour and 15 minutes later, I'm huddling back inside, but it did make this morning a little easier until the plow truck drove by, and then
plowed you right back in
for another half hour. Oh, I hate
that, don't you?
It's just so frustrating. Penn State, Illinois, coming up on Saturday. Penn State football wrapping up I guess this is still the regular season. I don't know. It's such a weird extra game that's in there. I really do think as we get closer to it, even though there are a lot of just weird things this week, again, with the snowstorm that hit and obviously signing day being yesterday and finals week and all of that, it just feels like this is a game. Again, I'm expecting a very sloppy game. I don't think it's going to be one of these games where at the end you're looking at 2 penalties and no turnovers, and man, what a well played game. I just think that's just going to be the situation, and it won't surprise me if it takes a while for Penn State to find its footing, to get on track because of everything this week. But I guess I'm confident enough in what I've seen here in the second half over these last 3 games in particular to feel like, and even going back to the Nebraska game, I just feel like Penn State will figure this thing out. And Illinois, again, it's, as we've been talking about, kind of hard to figure exactly what you're going to get from them. If Penn State is able to jump out early, it does feel like this could be an easy day for them. I'm not sure that's likely given, again, everything that's gone on here this week.
Well, the way we predicted everything since the pandemic has started, Ironhead, I mean, I don't know why Vegas is not calling us for
exactly right.
Yeah, you're right. What Illinois is going to show up is the Illinois team, the guys who are mad that Lovie Smith got fired and they don't want to be there. They don't want to play. The season's over. They've already had guys enter the transfer portal, enter the NFL draft before this game even started. So there's guys on their team who are just saying they're done. So I can't imagine the whole team being like that, but I can't imagine them all being gung-ho for this game. So it could go either way. They could come in here and really try, it's our last hurrah together. But, I don't see that happening personally. I just think they probably want the season over. And our guy is going to realize that and take care of business quick early and get it done with, whack them out, and then just move on, get ready to go to a bowl game.
Yeah, and I think the more I've been thinking about it this week, and I do think getting back to that 500 mark is is a big deal. I think it's a big deal for the program overall to not have, a losing season, but to come off of 0-5 and, the worst start in program history and turn that around and get back to 500, obviously for momentum next season. But I'm just saying for this year in and of itself, I think that's a pretty remarkable objective to still have in front of you. And if they can get there, and the big if, obviously got to take care of business against Illinois. I think Penn State, last I saw, was a 14.5 or 15 point, it looked like, line in favor of Penn State. And then, hopefully a decent opponent in the bowl game to, again, just get those competitive juices going again. And again, I think with as many young guys as we're seeing, the more actual game experience you get, especially if it's successful game experience, the better off you are looking ahead to next year.
Yeah, I mean, they have really played a lot of guys this year. I mean a lot of guys, whether it be due to injury or just guys weren't getting the job done. But you have seen, I mean, we talked about 4 weeks ago, said I don't think I've ever seen a Penn State team play so many guys. And that was the game at Michigan when we were, the travel party is usually 65. I don't know what it is now, but say it's 70 guys. I bet you 65 of those guys played on that Saturday, and they've been running them in all year. So
yeah,
we have a lot of guys getting a lot of good experience against Big Ten programs. You go 5-5 to end this year after starting 5-5. We get into spring football. You get into preseason next year, and I think that the ball is going to keep rolling. The momentum's on our side right now, so we just got to keep it, maintain it, and keep it going forward.
Yeah, and I think that really is kind of the objective here now for the team is to finish up this season strong, but really use it as a launching pad now into next year and see what you can go out and accomplish in terms of making a run at a Big Ten title or the long-sought college football playoff spot.
The next level elite.
Yes, indeed.
I get that.
Couple of things, Goon. I wanted to go back. We were remiss in talking about the Michigan State game on Tuesday on that special teams play where Penn State runs up to the line of scrimmage with seemingly just about the entire roster. And it was interesting. James Franklin was talking about, because I was talking about with a few friends, it's like, how is that not illegal procedure on Penn State? Why was it not called illegal procedure? And I do think I think it's open to interpretation, right? I mean, that's basically what Franklin was saying is, yeah, it could easily get called against us. And if it does, no big deal. We could go back 5 yards and punt it. And if we get them off sides, obviously you take it. And it's the risk reward thing is again, very much worth the risk.
It's the referee's discretion.
Yeah, it was a bizarre.
Yeah, the whole.
That's whether or not you think you are set, right?
Huh?
Is it whether or not the official thinks you were set? The team is set before everything breaks.
And then the whole team moved at once. It's like the old Cowboys offensive line when they all used to stand up and go down at the same time. But again, it's at the referee's discretion. I guess whoever yells the loudest gets the call and say, well, no. But if there is a rule out there that if you're purposely trying to deceive the other team, the call will go against you. But I don't know why or how we got that call. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, it was a pretty big point of the game at that point.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, to get that in our call in our way. I mean, maybe James is starting to get his little 7th and 8th year in Big Ten calls finally.
Yeah, it is nice to see a questionable call at best go Penn State's way for a change if you're a Penn State fan. That is for sure. Looking at the overall picture here, Goon, with the Big Ten and then the NCAA right now. Ohio, for all the talk and whether or not the Big Ten did the right thing, whatever. Ohio State, Northwestern. Do you give any chance to Northwestern? I mean, again, it's college sports, and you never say never. But man, I tell you, this just looks to me. You go down the marks on who has the advantage, and everything. Maybe coaching a little bit of a question mark. Although Ryan Day's record right now be pretty hard to question that and the success that they're having. But I mean, position by position, right? I mean, every check mark goes Ohio State's way here.
No doubt. I mean, they're on paper they're top 2 or 3 in the country, and Northwestern is. They played again. If Northwestern's going to win, they have to play out of their heads, and about every 4 or 5, 10 years that happens to Northwestern, and happened again this year. But they had the one real bad. I mean, I don't know how you lose that Michigan State team, but they did, and they got to keep the score low, and that's what an Ohio State does. I mean, they would have to control the ball so much to keep Ohio State's offense off the field, and I just don't think they have that offensive power to do that. I just think it's going to be a real ugly, high-scoring Ohio State game where they know that they need to make a point, and that is they're going to go out with that attitude that we are going to make an example of Northwestern, that we should be in the playoffs, because there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of people are correct with the whole college football rankings and stuff like that. I mean, we can talk about that of Florida losing to a 3-5 football team and only dropping 1 spot in the college playoffs. Are you kidding me? And then people are complaining about Ohio State only playing 6 games, and you drop Cincinnati. They drop a spot because they didn't play, and it's unbelievable.
It truly is. The Florida thing is truly baffling to me.
It's almost like they forgot it. Like, oh, Jesus. Oh, yeah, leave them there. We forgot they lost that game. That's almost how it was like, oh, we're moving back 1, but then they lost to a 3-5 LSU team. They dropped 1 spot, and they're still 6 bowl in the contention, and they're going to go ahead of a Cincinnati or a Coastal Carolina. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, it's not just that they're 3-5 either, Goon. I mean, LSU's been getting blasted. I mean, they haven't been competitive in a lot of those.
And it was a depleted 3-5 LSU team. It was Brad Johnson's quarterback's son, who was like the 6th-string quarterback playing for him, and then I don't know. If I'm not a Power 5 conference member, I am furious right now with college football, the playoff system, because it's all bullshit. I mean, that's the only way I can explain it.
Well, and listen, I really do think at some point we're going to have to collectively decide. I think it probably should have been done a while ago. I'm okay, and I think most fans and probably most schools, including those in the Mid-American Conference and conferences like that, would be okay if you kind of break this into 2 different levels and have a something in between what was Division I and 1 AA previously. Have one AA and 1 AAA, if you will, but because that is what we have right now. Like, we're not openly admitting it. The NCAA isn't openly admitting it, but that is what we have. We have the Power 5, and then we have the other conferences, and then you have the other divisions.
You said it 2 weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it since. I cannot imagine playing for a Cincinnati team, a Coastal Carolina team, at the time BYU, saying, hey, let's go undefeated, but knowing full well you are not going to get a shot at that top 4.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you – I mean, as an athlete and as a competitor, you're a Division I athlete, how do you get jacked up for a season and say, hey, we're going to go do this, We don't have a chance of getting invited, but we can be undefeated like Central Florida and claim a national title. But we're not going to be invited to the top 4. They'll give us a top 12 bowl, a New Year's 6 bowl. But it's. I've been thinking about what you said a couple weeks ago, Jeff, and that's crazy to even think about, but it's true. They have no shot.
Yeah, and it's just not. Again, I think they would be well served to, and really, I think we've been heading this direction for a while, where the Power 5. Listen, as of a couple of years ago, right? The Power 5 now more so than ever directs big time college athletics more than the NCAA, right? I mean, the Power 5, if they're saying, listen, we need that. And I get that the NCAA, in theory, is the conference schools, right? I mean, that's what the NCAA, it's supposed to be the member schools. But I think the administrative component to the NCAA got carried away for a number of years there. And now those Power 5 schools, and more so the conferences, the conference commissioners have kind of reeled back control of this. And listen, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You're going to step aside. And I just think at some point we're going to see those Power 5 conferences, maybe realign as 4, but whatever, and break away and be truly unto themselves.
Power 5's going to say, well, why are we giving the NCAA money? We can keep all this money ourselves.
Exactly.
That's what the NCAA is, just sitting there saying, thank you every year. What are they doing? They're not in control of anything. Television and the conferences are in charge of everything.
Yeah, and really, and I just think we're seeing more evidence of that, more proof of that every year, every passing month, actually. And at some point, again, you're right. It's why is there an NCAA? The original purpose or function there has long gone out the window.
It was to protect athletes, but now what is it doing? It's just a money-making, money-hoarding machine. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know that it ever really succeeded in its so-called mission to help or protect the athletes. I think if you look back at a lot of the decisions over the years, it was just the opposite, that it ended up hurting athletes more than helping. And you saw it with, just go back to the punishments handed out to programs, which you take away 10 scholarships, that's 10 opportunities for somebody to get an education. That's not hurting. The coaches would go on and go to another high-profile school. So you ended up punishing the kids. And that was a pretty consistent theme over, 30, 40 years there with the NCAA, where, oh, no, we're in this to protect the integrity and help the kids. And at every turn, almost every decision they made would end up hurting at least some of the student-athletes that were out.
And we're lining ourselves up right now for the transfer portal thing. How many scholarships are going to be available next year? Well, we waived 2020. It didn't count. So, all right, we had 13 seniors walk out last week, right? So if they all want to come back, they can all come back. And then you have 15 kids signed yesterday. So there's 28 more kids on top of the scholarship. So you're now at 100. You're at 100 scholarships right there.
Yeah.
I mean, what is fair? What is not? And can we go out in the transfer portal and pick up 15 more players because they have an extra year of eligibility?
Yeah.
They need to make a ruling on this soon, because guys are still playing and they're trying to figure out what their future is. And, and we know what it's going to end up being. And that's whatever the best thing for the Power 5 conference is and what brings the most money in. Because you work with wrestling. You guys fight and claw for those amount of scholarships every year. A MAC school cannot compete. They're probably maxed out at 85 scholarships. Some of them probably don't offer 85 scholarships.
Yeah.
The deal with LSU and Alabama, Texas, and Penn State. So we have 120 guys on our team right now. But it's all an extra year. They got to get it under control ASAP, or it's gonna spiral out again.
Yeah, I do think that disparity is going to widen over the next couple of years as a result of that, because, again, the schools that already have the talented kids now will have more of them for this, whatever it'll be, 4 or 5 year cycle here. And
it's crazy.
Well, it is going to make it more difficult for, again, programs that are looking, even within the Power 5, to work their way up, right? There's just such a significant advantage right now for the Alabamas and the Clemsons and the Ohio States that I'm not going to say it's impossible, but boy, it is a taller order than ever to try to crack into that elite upper echelon era.
James said yesterday that he's going to actively go into the transfer portal for players for next year. I mean, it's out there. He already said it. I mean, there's a lot of talent out there. Go out and get some of it, and it just degrades the whole system, the program. Not us, but I'm just saying in general. I mean, there's no more player development. It's all about, okay, what are you going to do? So what's separating us from the NFL? I mean, we're just going to go free agency. Okay, well, you're not getting the job done. We're going to boot you. We're going to bring somebody else in who's not happy at LSU. And you're going to have kids going to 3 or 4 different schools in 4 or 5 years. You develop there's no player development from a university or college standpoint. The university is, you're not getting a great education, and you're not building lifelong relationships with friends and teammates.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting what this really looks like. Say in another just 5 years. I was going to say 10, but really another 5 years. What does college athletics look like? What are we talking about in terms of the playoff system that's being utilized? And, the money that's being thrown around. I mean, some of that is going to be coming the players' way, one way or another. Obviously, already with, you'll be able to get these endorsement deals and such. But I think
on that, brother.
Yeah, but I think that's going to change even more. I mean, I think you're going to see more and more going to the athletes, better, worse, whatever. I just think that's.
As I've said, we've talked about it 1,000 times. I'm okay with that. I believe it should happen. Just give it evenly amongst. I mean, that's just how I feel, because I always say this: Saquon Barkley is an iconic figure in Penn State in NCAA history. Okay,
Yep.
So he had a $50,000 a year package, just his endorsement package. Then you're recruiting some hotshot running back who you want to come to Penn State. He's a 5-star recruit, All-American. Hey, we're going to give you the Saquon Barkley package, $50,000 a year. That's a lot of money for a lot of people, including you and I. So,
Amen.
And when that kid doesn't develop into Saquon Barkley, he's not that as good. He's a bust. Are you still giving him $50,000 a year, or are you just going to kick him to the curb and say, "Oh, we're going to go after next year's kid"? And it's not right. And then the second thing is, who is making these deals? We're going to have player agents now. You're going to allow an agent into your locker room, and you're going to start greasing players, and it's going to be absolute mayhem. It's going to be the worst thing to possibly happen. I've said,
Yeah,
give them a couple $1,000s a month, give an annuity for every year that they compete collegiately, and they finish the year school-wise. So if you put $5,000 or $10,000 into an annuity, you complete your 4 years of education, you graduate from Penn State University, you do your 4 years of playing football, you honored your commitment to Penn State honored their commitment to you, you get a $50,000 annuity coming to you the day you graduate. There's a lot we can do without having these kids going out and become, out shopping themselves around, because you don't know who's shopping them, and that's the ugly thing that's going to happen.
No, there's no doubt. Of course, the cynics among us would argue that, welcome to what college basketball has been for about 20 years.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you ask what football is going to look like in 5 or 10 years, I'm going to say, well, probably what AAU basketball has looked like 25. Because I always say, when I came back in 2005 and everything was a little bit different, and it was true. We had the AAU basketball programs, but now we were starting these 7-on-7 teams and 7-on-7 tournaments where they were having these super teams and traveling around the country and doing summer tours and all that. You're starting to see that turning into football.
Yeah.
You're starting to see this is taking over the NCAA. They're taking over football, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all.
A couple of things good as far as the weekend coming up with the NFL. Again, the Steelers will be taking on the Bungles on Monday night, which is always a welcome opportunity on the schedule to try to get some things right here for Pittsburgh. It was interesting. After our discussion on Tuesday, I had some folks reaching out to me saying that underappreciating what the Titans and the Browns, for that matter, but the Titans especially, are going to be able to do. And listen, this is the fun, right? We'll see. Like it'll bear itself out. And I've said all along, as you've said, but if I was making my living on my prognostications, it would not be good. I would be still on nothing but the the noodles, and that would be about it. So,
Hey, Boots made a point the other day that I've been thinking about.
yeah,
And he was Jared Allen, where is his next progression? And he said Andy Dalton, and I said, holy crap. Because Andy Dalton was like that. Oh, he's the next superstar and this and that, but he never hit that plateau, and that's exactly where Josh Allen is right now.
Yeah. Again, it feels to me, and listen, I'm the guy that thought Ryan Leaf should go over Peyton Manning. So you got to understand, my track record is not good here.
You said that? You said that? Oh my God, Ironhead.
Oh, yeah, coming out. Leaf was, the physical presence, and Manning, he did not impress me as all that in college. So, yeah, I'm, add that to, that's one of many examples where I've been wrong. It feels to me like Josh Allen.
You're going to win by 17 over the Jets.
Josh Allen has figured some things out, though, and I think, when they were breaking down how he has changed what his mechanics are,
yep.
And then you look at the athleticism again. That I don't want to harp too much on one play, but where he's going across the field and just flicking that thing again. There's a handful, and I mean a handful at best, that are able to make that play. Mahomes really is the only other one that comes to mind at the moment that is able to do that. As easily as Allen made that look. And listen, the other part of it is, right, Tom Brady's success has been beyond remarkable to me because the talent pool around him has not been that impressive. They've had some good O-lines for sure, but and he's had some great receivers here and there for a year. Yeah. But consistently, it's been a bunch of guys that when they've left New England, right, you've seen, they've been decent, but nothing like the production that they had there. The one component here with Josh Allen, to this day, people argue on Terry Bradshaw and what kind of a quarterback he was. And the fact is, for championship teams, right, it's everything meshes. You get the right coach and the right quarterback and the right players around them. And it's, who knows what Terry Bradshaw would have been like with the Cowboys or Roger Staubach. We'll never know because this is the way it panned out. Dan Marino with the Dolphins. Well, what if he had been with, whoever? So, but I think the Bills, beyond Josh Allen, I think the Bills are built here for long-term success. Now, they may never win a Super Bowl. Again, winning a Super Bowl is really, really hard. There are so many different components that go into it. You have to be healthy at the right time of the year. Luck plays a role in that, right? You've got to have a good organization, good coach. All of that. But then you have to have some luck. You have to have some breaks. You have to have, a team like the Chiefs stumble somewhere for you to get your opportunity. All of those things have to play. But I think the Bills over the next 4 or 5 years are going to be among the contenders in the AFC.
You're talking about Terry Bradshaw, and it makes me think, like, he had Stallworth, he had Lynn Swann, Dan Marino had Duper and Clayton, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice, James Taylor. Who the hell is Tom Brady's? Who was he matched with? Gronk, his tight end. That's it.
Yeah.
That's that guy. He had Randy Moss for a season or two. But other than that, it was him and Gronk. So he's never had those like superstar receivers. So, and you've talked about it a lot in saying what they did in the free agency era, we will never, ever, ever see that again.
I don't think so.
Belichick had done. It's amazing what they did up there with what they had, and amazing that he was the ultimate team guy in Tom Brady, and he was taking pay for years upon years, and did they ever really spend it on superstar players that they told him they were going to? And they never really did. So, and then if you think about it, the one time he did have the best player in the world, and Randy Moss, they didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think about. But every superstar quarterback that you could think of had a superstar set of wide receivers or this and that, and Brady had Gronk. It's crazy to think about. But Jared Allen. I keep on saying Jared Allen. Josh Allen, he's got He got Diggs now. He's got Beasley. I mean, they're building for success. And then, like we talked about on Tuesday, Sean McDermott is in the Andy Reid coaching tree, where you build from a defense and an offensive line and you work your way out. So you got a franchise and you got to have good offensive lines. And Andy Reid has always had good offensive lines. And McDermott is an Andy Reid type of guy where he's built the offense and defensive line real well, and he's building up around them. So they are building themselves for a long run, I think. And then my wife's in the other. She's over here dancing because of Cleveland, because she's a Cleveland Brown fan. I said, well, the sky's going to fall eventually. I mean, it's just it's just nature. It just happens, I mean, well, what the hell? It's 2020. What else? I mean, would it surprise you if the Bills, the Vikings, or the Cleveland Browns go to the playoffs and win the friggin' Super Bowl? Would that not be the end, the best 2020 thing of all?
That likely, yes, that would be. We'll take a short break here. Be back with more of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot, starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Introducing the new dusted Ghost Pepper at Quaker Steak and Lube. 11,700 SHUs of fire dusted on award-winning wings. Try it, or are you afraid of the heat?
Who wants to turn $20 into $500? Support our local restaurants this holiday season. Eat in or dine out, from French fries to lobster. Bring us your receipt and we'll take $500 off your final price. Here's how simple this is. Bring us a receipt, buy a car from us in the month of December, and we'll take $500 off your final price. Merry Christmas from Blaze Alexander Hyundai Mazda. Support your local restaurants and servers. And remember, tell them Johnny sent you.
And we welcome you back in for more of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. Just a little side programming note. If you see me running off, I'm on guard duty with the dog at the moment. We're in our basement. The Mad Turtle and my wife are out sledding. So I'm just keeping an eye on the pooch. We had a bone going. I thought we'd keep him occupied for the full hour, but apparently about 30 minutes is it. So I'm keeping an eye on the pooch over here as well.
You mean your dogs don't sleep 22 hours a day like mine?
Well, I tell you, he was sleeping a good bit today. We had a very active day yesterday. He was introduced to snow for the first time here. He's about four months old and wasn't quite sure what to make of it at first, but now is digging the snow.
Yeah, I got 3 on the couch right now looking at me like, you need to shut up over there. We're trying to sleep, so.
Yeah, this one's at the top.
What are you hearing? Like,
I can't quite tell what he's wanting to do.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Whimper.
I might need to run out real quick with him. I'm getting the bathroom vibe from him. This is...
Should we have Poppy make her television debut here?
Yeah, I'm feeling like Lamar Jackson is...
Yeah. Well, you guys made fun of me the other day because I knew who
I'm telling you, it's not coming through on the pooch. I'm just trying to keep an eye here to make sure. Do you want to come over, Ricky, and I and say hello? Come on up.
There we go. See?
There he comes. Come on up. Oh, come on up.
Bring me Pop.
Here, we'll try to get the.
There we go.
The pooch.
Oh.
Oh.
The pooch is here.
Yeah. Now he's going to hide behind there. Oh, well. Let's see if I can get him back up here in a minute. Good. What's that?
Yeah. I was just talking about the Eagles game this week. They got They got Arizona, right? And I don't know how many times you've watched Kyler Murray play, but dude, he is freaking special. We're talking about Allen running around out there, and Pat Mahomes running around with throwing the ball around. I mean, dude, Kyler Murray is unbelievable. How fast he is. The only player I could think he reminds me of is Michael Vick, with how fast he is and how everybody looks so slow playing against or with him. What he's doing out there. And he's going to deal with being 5'11" his whole career. There's no way around it. So I mean, but they have him rolling out and throwing the ball, and I've never seen anybody. You know, I guess I see Mahomes do it on a weekly basis, but that touchdown against the Bills this year, where he was rolling out to his left, and he just stops and turns his shoulders and just flicks the ball 55 yards in the air. And Hopkins goes up and catches the ball for a touchdown. I'm telling you, I've never seen it done. It was just amazing to me what he does out there.
Yeah, Rich is checking in if Larry Fitzgerald was in his prime with Murray. Be a pretty fun combo to see there. Murray is definitely special. I mean, there's no doubt about that. He's better than I thought he'd be at this level. That's for sure.
I mean, when he turned down, when he was the first overall pick in baseball, and he gave the Oakland A's back $7 million because he said he wanted to play in the NFL, I said, "You're stupid. You played 20 years in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
1 year in the NFL and get hurt and be done for both of your careers." And I guess I'm very, very impressed with how he is, because I did not see it. I mean, you know, you look at Mahomes, Mayfield, and Murray, they're all the same similar backgrounds in the Texas football and the 7-on-7 passing camps and all this and all that, and they're playing basketball on grass out there. It's insane, but that's the way that's the wave of the future. So going back to Josh Allen, and he is the last of the real statuesque. He could be a statue quarterback like Roethlisberger and Dan Marino, where he's going to sit in the pocket and take a couple hits here and there. But those guys are the future right there. And, you know, they're more and more coming out of college. But you're not seeing them at the Division I Power 5 conferences. That's why you got to go to Wyoming to get a guy like Josh Allen.
Yep. No, again, we'll see what happens here over the coming years. But it feels like those are two guys that are going to be here for a while to me. But again, what do I know? It's
Ryan Leaf, huh? Jesus.
Oh yeah, coming out. I'm like, no, Leaf. I take Leaf in a heartbeat over Manning. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
I played here with a guy. No reason. No need to have a name, but his girlfriend went to Washington State, and he said he went out there for a spring break when he was young, and he came back and he was talking about this quarterback they had out there, who he said they were in a bar and they were all hanging out, and he says he could not believe how much of a tool bag this guy was. And you know, I put two and two together of who that was. So I never liked the guy from the start, how he acted on the field and how, I was told by somebody he acted in public and this and that. So it really doesn't surprise me that it's turned out the way it has. But you know what? There is a pretty happy ending right now, the way his life has been turned around and how he's, was doing with his life. It's a pretty good Nation Project story.
Yeah, it is. And he admits, he got caught up in all of the nonsense. And that's, I got to tell you, I think that is easier to do than what people would imagine, right? I mean, if you are told you're all this and you're given breaks here and there, right? It's a pretty easy trap to fall down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, doggy's hungry.
We're having all kinds of puppy issues. K9. My goodness. K9.
Funny.
Oh my gosh.
So hey, what do you got this weekend? What Penn State by how many you think?
Yeah, you know what? I really do think. My guess is that at halftime, this is a close and competitive game. I think Penn State will be up, but I'm not expecting it to be by more than a touchdown or so. I do think in the second half, Penn State will put it together. I think we'll end up winning, somewhere in the neighborhood of 38-17, something like that, 38-14.
I think it's a blowout from the start. I really do. I think that Penn State's I was very happy with how those seniors acted after the game the other day. It was the first time I actually felt like they had some pride for the program type of thing where they let it go, and it really does suck for them because they missed their whole senior year. But if they're leaving, again, there's a lot of people who they could all still come, stuff like that. But it does really suck that their senior year was completely washed away. They're playing football out there. I mean, I played in Beaver Stadium for practices a lot of times. It's a really ugly stadium. You're a game against Ohio State or a game against Michigan State and in the stands. I mean, I can't imagine how hard that is to get wired up for that game and to stay. Because we historically have used crowds to our benefit. I mean, for the last forever. I mean, we have always had great crowds. Not being able to use that to our advantage was a big thing for us this year.
Yeah, and I think I am really curious to see. I think you're going to see the reactions, not just at Beaver Stadium, but across the board next year, assuming, and I guess it's a big assumption, but assuming we're kind of back to normal and getting the crowds in there. I am really curious to see what that reaction is. I mean, I think it's going to be very emotional for players, coaches, and fans alike that first time. I think it's going to be kind of similar to what you had at coming, first event, whatever event you went to live after 9/11. That it just there's going to be something cathartic about it, I think.
My wife's over here laughing because I was talking about the spring blue-white game tailgate today. I'm looking forward to it. I was on the menu prepared and everything. So yeah, you're exactly right. Everybody's looking forward to next season and stuff. And when you love tailgate as much as I do, and I'm already. It's not any Christmas time, and I'm talking about the blue-white game tailgate.
I'm all right with that myself. I'm getting eaten by a puppy. If you're wondering,
good man. Well, we can wrap it up, brother.
He's just out of control.
Yeah.
We may need to do that.
Over. She's completely out of her mind right now. She just rolled off the couch.
Yeah, I may need to get this guy outside for a little bit. Sorry.
Good, brother.
Snow Bowl 2 at Beaver Stadium on Saturday. Snow Bowl in 94. Alan's chiming in. That game in 94 was Goon, right? Or 95, yeah, with Michigan. Yeah. That
was my senior day at Penn State.
Yeah.
Yep. That was one of my favorite days. Obviously, because it's you're asking about the Senior Bowl and senior players and stuff like that. But yeah, having that the whole week build up to that, and they're talking about the Storm. They're going to move the game to Michigan, and Joe was like, "We're not moving the game to Michigan." Gary Moeller and Lloyd Carr are like, "Oh yeah, come out to Michigan and play the Big House," and we're like, "No way." The whole circumstances around that whole thing were just hilarious, and it was the exact same scenario: 20 inches of snow on the ground on a Wednesday before the game, and
yeah.
You don't have to worry about we don't have to warm the guys from Rockview up to go clean the sections out.
Yeah, or get the parking lots with all of the rules and regulations that are in place there. I'm glad we're not having to worry about the parking lots again.
So I had a Winnebago full of friends from home come up for my final game, and there was no parking rules whatsoever. So the one ramming speed on campus over by the Nittany Apartments and just took the Winnebago over a snowdrift and just blocked it, and it just landed down, and they got out and they tailgated there for 48 straight hours.
Love it.
Fantastic time, man.
What are you gonna do?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, what's your what's your call here? What do you have as a score for Saturday?
I don't even know what I said for
Big.
fight. I know that I got us by 3 touchdowns plus, to be honest with you. I just think I think that we got it rolling pretty good. They don't want to play. They're not going to want to be here. They're not going to go to a bowl game. I think they've mailed it in, hopefully, and I think that we'll go over and we'll get through it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Well, we apologize for cutting this a little short, but I've got to get my puppy out, I think.
I got to get my other car out of the snow anyway. So
yeah, some extra chores today, that is for sure.
Yeah,
well, we will be back Tuesday, and then we'll see. We'll probably take the next couple of Thursdays off with Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, but we'll be back on Tuesday. Horace weighing in from Pittsburgh. He has it 40-10 PSU. So he's pretty much in line. I have it 38. I'll go 38-14. So I have it a little closer, but I think we're all in the same neighborhood.
I'll go 38-10. I'll go 28-point spread.
All in the same neighborhood that is right now 18 inches under snow.
Exactly.
We will talk to you on Tuesday. Until then, enjoy all of the sports. Enjoy the weekend and be safe.
See you guys.
Lion Country Kia is offering exceptional deals on your new Kia during Kia's Command the Season event.
We have a nice selection on the 2021 Kia Sportage with various options and prices as low as $26,800, saving you $3,000. Or if you demand big power and towing capacity, slip into one of the 2021 Kia Sorrentos available on our lot, starting at $32,680.
Discover why Kia drivers throughout the area come to Lion Country Kia or visit online at lioncountrykia.com.
Introducing the new dusted Ghost Pepper at Quaker Steak and Lube. 11,700 SHUs of fire dusted on award-winning wings. Try it, or are you afraid of the heat?
Who wants to turn $20 into $500? Support our local restaurants this holiday season. Eat in or dine out, from French fries to lobster. Bring us your receipt and we'll take $500 off your final price. Here's how simple this is. Bring us a receipt, buy a car from us in the month of December, and we'll take $500 off your final price. Merry Christmas from Blaise Alexander Hyundai Mazda. Support your local restaurants and servers. And remember, tell them Johnny sent you.